All right, joining me today is a very special guest. We are expanding our brand. We're going to Brooklyn now, over in New York. I got a great young man joining me today, and he has a great story to share for you guys. He is Quan VanPutten. He is a free agent for pro basketball. Quan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing really well. How you holding up during these COVID times, man? Are you doing all right?
Oh man, what that COVID was just a grind by itself, man. It was just a grind by itself, just toughen up mentally, and it helped me grow. Like I think COVID, it was like a time for us as people, like to understand what our path is and meditate. And I developed really mentally and spiritually too. So I had to thank COVID for that. So COVID wasn't a bad thing. I didn't look at it as a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. It was, I think, it's very, I think a lot of people took it as a positive too. Spend more times with the families, like, not working as much. So it was a different pace, nice different pace for a little bit. I mean, it sucks if you get it. I mean, I've had it, hands up here, but it sucks if you get it. And for all those who have been affected by it, but I think of the positive is there's some other things. But Quan, you have a great story, man. And we connected, and I looked you up online, and I watched some stuff about you and listen to your story. I'm excited to hear it, but I gotta know before we get into your story, how did you get into basketball? When did you start playing? At what age?
Oh man. I mean, like I've been around basketball ever since I was like a little boy. Like I think I can say at least 3, 4, because you remember the little tykes who used to have to make the little plastic basketball hoops. I had those. And I used to play on it all the time. And I really not know what I'm doing. I just like, oh, I like it. I used to like just jump in and grabbing it. And then I didn't take basketball seriously till like the 6th, 7th grade. And I've been like, because the person that inspired me most was Kobe Bryant. Like, that's the first player I knew. I knew Michael Jordan, but I knew like Kobe. Kobe's the one that got me to play the game and to really take it seriously. The way how he used to look at the game, the way he look at detail by detail. Like that's the type of player I am. I love the game with all my heart, and basketball has done a lot for me. It's like it really does a lot. And even though I'm not in the NBA currently, like I would love to be in the NBA. I'd like to be part of the Brooklyn Nets one day too. Like how everything's going. And yeah, I just basketball just been it's been a love of my life. It's been the love of my life.
That's awesome. So I'm assuming, are you a Brooklyn Nets fan with everything that's going on before we go
Oh,
into
oh,
this?
I've been ever since, like, because before the Brooklyn Nets stadium was there, I remember as a kid that was never, it was just an empty space. It was literally like empty. It was nothing there, like literally nothing, like a hole. And people were saying, oh, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be a hotel. We didn't know what that spot was gonna be, but when the Brooklyn Nets was formed here, and at first nobody didn't take it seriously in Brooklyn, but as time went on, we start to see like, well, okay, they could do something. Like, and now with this team that we have now, like I never in a million years thought we'll have a team. I didn't even think Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge. Are you kidding me? That's a whole 2K team right there. That's
Yeah,
a
that's
two.
what that's what I was comparing it to. I was talking to some of my sons. It's like it looks like someone just made this up in 2K and put a team together. And it's like, it's funny
Listen,
because it is true. It's true, but I mean, Brooklyn is tough. I mean, they're gonna be a tough team to beat. It's all in for the NBA championship over there.
listen. They just got to sign me next to the culture. That's it. You sign me next to the culture.
Hey, we'll get a hashtag going. We'll get it going. We'll get you on there. If I had the connections, I'd talk to someone. But I want to know. So you said you started taking basketball more serious around sixth grade, middle school area. Was there a time that you kind of like realized that there was some serious separation between the other competition in middle school and then even going into high school?
I mean, I think for me, since I wasn't really like advanced with the game at that time, all I knew how to do was shoot in middle school. But like in Brooklyn, in New York in general, like it's the competition is tough, it's fierce because everybody just want to get out. Everybody, because the mentality is this, like when we are in, I'm living in Brownsville currently, but Brownsville, my neighborhood is like, it's full of like drugs and gangs, and so we got to get the formality of that. But like seeing that and like on an everyday basis, it's kind of like it discourages you, and it could easily become product of the environment. So like being surrounded by that, it was kind of like a motivation to say, okay, I have to find a way to get out. Like either through your schoolwork or either through sports. And if you don't do good in either one, you end up falling to the streets. And me personally, I didn't want to fall to the streets. I didn't want to feel like, oh, this is the only way you can make money to support your family and this, because that's not true. Like us as people, if the education system is there, I feel like the education system should do a better job with that, like to really show that, okay, like you could do this and that. You don't have to be just an athlete alone. You can get into becoming a doctor, lawyer, even though like I heard this all before, but a lot of people don't encourage that, especially in school, we don't encourage that enough. So sports is like the only way I could have like seen a way out, and I still see it as a way out. But now I'm always expanding my education as well. But basketball has like been there. Like it's been the backbone of everything. It's been the backbone.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. I think education is, I think you're right. I think the education system should do a little bit more and put more faith and, give kids a better way. And I think they should start introducing more things to kids so they can kind of have somewhat direction and know what they want to get into. Some things are, just sitting down and doing English and history is not for everyone. Like,
All right.
Playing like making graphics and stuff like that might be for someone, or, doctor or lawyer, like you said. So I think trying to introduce that at a young age would be great. I think you got something right there too. You could just probably start a nonprofit right there. So, but so what was it like your high school career like, and how did you like start to develop your game and like start playing and like what?
Well, high school career. All right, I'm gonna give you a story. My high school career. I didn't start playing on my high school team since 10th grade, but in 9th grade, I was like, it was just there. My first day at high school and stuff like that. And we used to have like the outdoor during lunch with us. We had a back of basketball, whatever. I remember when I was playing in the schoolyard, whatever, and had this one big guy. He was like 6'7", whatever. I think I had hops, but I thought I could block him. He ended up dunking on me. I was like, bro, like that was my welcome to high school moment. I was like, wow. So 10th grade, came back, I got better, I got stronger. And, it was my first year, I'm just getting used to the rhythm, playing under the whistle, getting used to that. So, and then you go here focusing on like, oh, I want to score this amount. And then as I was getting older, like towards the end of my high school career, I got an MVP trophy, which I have right here. Oh, this one here.
Oh,
so this one 2016.
I like it.
I remember when I got it. And the thing was so crazy. They had a banquet, and I missed it because I had a family issue. But I didn't know about the banquet. So the next day I had gym class, and they said, "Oh, Quan, you missed the banquet." I said, "What banquet?" So you got an MVP trophy, and then they bring this to me. I was like, "Oh wow!" I said, "Okay." So the whole day in school, I was with it, and I just had a good time. But like, I think the best part about my high school career was like the challenges, the camaraderie, like coming together and helping each other on the court, but especially off the court. Like when it came back to the classroom, it came to like seeing if everybody's good. Like it was like a brotherhood. And my high school name was Arts and Media Preparatory Academy, but it got closed down after I graduated. So it was like, I still keep in contact with some of my old teammates now, but some of my old teammates don't really hoop no more. But we had like a great team. Like we had a great team. I remember my best teammates in high school was Dante Taylor, Daniel Pierre Lewis, Kyrie Matthews. Who else? Wow, a lot of them. Man, the list goes on. I wish I could name all of them. Oh, Austin. It's just a lot of them. It's a lot of us, man. There's a lot. Joshua Morrison. And those are my guys. Like they taught me how to play the game, and they really impacted me. Like I keep telling them, like, yo, you guys really helped me change my game. But they look at me and say, oh, like you've been doing your thing. I said, nah, like I had to at those times in practice when they had to push me, like they really pushed me. Like and I was like, man, I got it. I give them thanks every single day, every single time. I have to.
That's great. I mean, that's amazing. They have teammates like that. Is there like a memorable game that really sticks out to you? I mean, besides getting dunked on that one time your sophomore year, but like, what's like a memorable game that kind of like was like that really sticks out to you in high school that you guys like you won, you played really well together, or like a team win or yourself?
Remember? Oh yeah, it was on my mom's birthday. My mom's birthday was March 3rd, and it just recently passed. I'm in high school, and I'm also I'm a fraternal twin. So my twin brother was playing with me at the time too.
Oh wow!
And so we was playing, and we was facing our rival. Our rival was science skills, and basically like we had like the green jerseys and all of that, and they had the purple. So it was basically it was like a Celtics versus Lakers type of atmosphere.
Yeah.
But when we played, like I had 17 and 10. My brother had a double. We had 10 and 10. Dante had, I think, 20, 22 or something like that. Daniel had 19, but we was like going, it was like neck and neck game. Like I'm talking about, like it was like at a point, you know how you got spaced out basketball in high school? No, like we was all paint basketball, like getting now you gotta fight, like everybody grabbing each other, like no calls, no. It was like it was barely any. The ref was not blowing their whistle that game. Like they wanted us to be gritty and grind. I got fouled in the 3-point line. I made the three. I ain't get no foul call. I was like, man, but I think we ended up winning the game by. It was like a mid-range shot, a mid-range game winner. I didn't take the shot though. I made the inbound play for the shot. It was to, who was it to? I think it was my boy Shamik that hit the shot. Yeah, it was Shamik that hit the shot, and then we ended up winning the game, and it was great. Like after the game, it was just really fun, and I cried. And my mom, I said, "Mom, happy birthday, Mom!" Whatever. He went out. It was just it was a fun game. It was a fun game, and my brother caught a dunk that day too.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Also, happy birthday to your mom as well. Happy belated birthday to your mom. And that's awesome that you and your brother played basketball. Did you guys have friendly competitions with each other growing up? How was it like, playing with him?
And my brother, like that's my twin. That's me. That's I look at him, I see me a lot, and for him, like he played basketball because I played basketball. He told me that. I was like, bro, like you didn't have to do that. Like, yo, I wanted to, because like I think when I seen how powerful like what I do impact people, when I see it on my brother, because my brother, he ended up, I started liking Kobe, he liked Kobe. Like, and my brother, like I feel like if he still was playing, like seriously, I feel like he could be somewhere too with me. I feel like me and him would be like labeled like how the Morris twins are. Like, I feel like we could have been like that.
But yeah, we gotta get him back. Get him back. Let's get him out. Get him playing. We gotta get you guys together. Same team, wherever you guys go. That's awesome. That's great. But I want to know too, because after your high school career is over with, how did you decide to try out for the JBA, and like what was that process like? Explain to everyone what's it like, the inside of what was going on with the JBA and stuff.
All right. So first, I tried to go to college. I went to college. I went to St. Francis, and then St. Francis College was like a D1 that's down here in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I wasn't like developed enough for it because like my body and stuff like that. So I was kind of like behind. Like I said, I wasn't exposed to that type of like atmosphere. Yeah. So I transferred to a JUCO. It was at Dutchess Community College. That was in upstate Poughkeepsie, New York. And I went there, and I was supposed to play for them. So I was like, catch up on my grades, and next semester you come back, and then you get in flow with things. And the way how I ended up getting into the JBA, I came home for a weekend to see my mom, and I was on Instagram scrolling, and I see LeVar. You know how LeVar is, like he ranting, and he said he has it's a JBA baby, the tryouts, baby. And I'm like, okay, but then he said he had a tryout at Brooklyn Stadium. The Brooklyn Stadium not far from us. That's a bus ride away. So I went to the tryout, and I'm talking about like it was a bunch of people. Like it was like a lot of people from every hood. So like, and the thing, I'm known in my community. So I go there and I see people, whatever. I say, yo, it's good, bro. Da, da, da. So you here for the trial? Yeah, bro. And then I see other people that's come, but they're not from Brooklyn. They come from Canada. They come from Texas. They come like they was traveling. Like this was the last trial for the JBA. So I end up being there. So, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, I got college with me. I'm just here for the atmosphere and just see how the vibe is. And I go there, and I'm not expecting to make it. I'm not expecting to make it at all. I'm just going there just to get a run in. And a lot of people that's in it, they're just like, they're scrambling, they're not really playing like organized and everything like that. So they paired me up with my team, and I told people around me that was on my team, I said, yo, bro, I'm not really trying to like make it, whatever. I'm just gonna help y'all get where y'all need to be. This and the third. So yeah. I was being the leader of my team. And, I'm just getting blocks. I'm getting 3-point shots, and I'm making the right play, passing, doing pick and rolls, telling my teammates, yo, you got to come here, this and the third. And I'm just, because I'm really basketball savvy. So after the trial, whatever was over, I was getting ready to put my stuff and go home. And they stopped me. They said, oh, where you going? I said, I'm going home. Yeah, I ain't call my name, because they ain't call my name at first. Yeah. Like, I was waiting for because they say top 8 people, and they end up calling 15 people. I was like, wow, okay. They end up calling me, whatever. And then they FaceTime. Look, we got LeVar on the FaceTime call, and then LeVar's telling, oh, you guys, congratulations on making the JBA, this and third. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, and now I'm just like, I'm shocked. I'm like, bro, that's LeVar Ball I'm looking at. Like, I can't believe I really made this cut. So I'm looking, and then, now how the experience of me getting on to the Houston Ballers now. since every roster has supposed to have 8 spots, but they took 15 because we made the most of the league because New York had most of like the talented guys and everything like that. So they basically split some people. Some people end up shipped over to Chicago. Some people got shipped over to Atlanta, and I got shipped over to Houston. So I basically made up like the 8th or 7th roster spot on Houston. And, so now it's like, okay, now I just got to adjust playing with guys from Houston now. Because now it's like, because people don't understand when you play basketball, depending where you're from, your style is going to be different. So when they saw how I played, it looked different to them. It didn't look like, because in Houston, they got guys that's tall, that's athletic, that likes to go rim running. But me, I'm like a little flashy, a little razzle dazzle, like that. So when I brought that, and then they see how my energy was, it was something different than when they liked it. So during that time, we had practice and everything like that. It was like the only thing that was hard to me at first was the conditioning, and I think it was like the weight difference and stuff like that. So I wasn't as strong, I wasn't as bulky because, like I said, in New York, we're not exposed to all of that type of stuff. So when I got there, it was a challenge. So, and then I ended up completing the training camp. And they had us on a set schedule. I'm talking like we worked off from 8 in the morning to like 8 o'clock at night. Every day. Like it was no escaping. Like we had like a little lunch period, but after lunch, right back to it. Like they really had us in that training camp, like sweating every day, ice wraps every day. Like and people don't understand, like when you go into that process of really trying to make it, it's a grind. So it's like you really have to be mentally tough and prepared for that. So through that process, I completed the training camp, but then when they end up sending me home, it was weird. But the thing is, they was talking about people getting sent home and stuff like that. But I was like, for what though? Like they're not really explaining why people are getting sent home.
Yeah.
So, I seen a few players that from the training camp I got was missing or anything like that. So when they got to me, and they said to me, "Oh, we need to have 8 players on the team and blah blah blah," and I was like, "For what? Like, what I do wrong? The training camp is over. Like, because I'm really just mentally preparing myself for the game tomorrow. Cause after the training camp complete, we fly for the game.
Yeah.
But I'm telling them, I'm saying for what? They're not. I'm looking at them asking, give me a reason. They're not giving me a reason. That it was like to this day, I'm still wondering what was the reason. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's a question I answered. I never got that answer. So, and on top of that, when I first came to the JV, I talked to LeVar personally one-on-one. Like I wasn't starstruck by LeVar. Like I went up to LeVar, me and LeVar had a conversation. I said, LeVar, how you doing? I shook his hand, like how me and you talking. Like I talked to him just like this and I asked him what you're trying to do with the JBA. Like what's your aspiration? Like, are you trying to make this another pathway to help people get into the NBA? I feel like the league wasn't really made for us to really prosper. I really felt it was for LaMelo to get exposure. And I'm like I said, I can't knock LeVar to watching over his son. I can't knock him for that because that's his child. He wants his child to succeed in any way possible. But at the same time, I feel like he should have looked at the bigger picture. Because if you have your son who's a star in the NBA right now, like a star rookie, and I know he's hurt right now. LaMelo, hope you get better, bro. Like, cause I know you a great player, and I met him. He's a cool dude. He's really cool. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like LeVar should have used the league to expand, like how the NBA G League is. He could have done the JBA that way, and really, I feel like some of the things wasn't handled professionally. And like I said, it's like I think it was just first to him. Like it was just kind of new to him. So he's like him being a commissioner in the league is like kind of like, okay, he got to make sure this is in order, that's in order, that's in order. And I feel like some of the people that was on the staff was like, okay, but it could have been better. But like I said, when I got sent home, I remember when I went to the airport the next day. But when I end up posting a video talking about my experience, because like I kind of it was like it mentally disturbed me because then I'm just thinking about my body and like what all my body just went through to not play, and I was like, bro, like I come all the way from Brooklyn, like now because I'm thinking back, I'm like, I gotta go back to Brooklyn, go back to the hood to find another way out. Yeah. Because now at that point it's just like it was kind of I got into a really depressed state, I was really because I'm already suffering from PTSD, which is like from my experience from me moving from. I had a house with my mom, and my sister ended up selling it, short selling and stuff like that. And that's how I ended up in Brownsville.
Yeah.
Because so being in that, so like I said, when I end up moving to this environment, that's why I ended up me going away to the Dutch Community College to get away, to get a different atmosphere. So I want to see all of the homeless people, the people that's just strung out on drugs, the people that's gang banging, fighting. You know what I'm saying? I have the guns and hearing police sirens every day, and you get used to that. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the JBA was my blessing. I thought like that was the way. Okay, I can finally change my situation. I can change where I'm at. And when, like I said, every time you home, it felt like my heart just ripped out my chest. Like my heart sunk to the bottom of my butt.
Yeah.
To be honest. So
Yeah.
and and like I said, I love basketball, not because it's like, oh, I see it as a source of income. I love playing ball because, of the people I've met, the people that I have like close family with now to this day.
Yeah.
And like I know I lost a few of my brothers like into the streets because they didn't want to continue playing ball.
Yeah.
So that's the really scenario about it. And I got sent to the airport, and I remember I was about to go on the plane, and my phone rings. I pick it up, and it's people from the league, and they telling me, "Oh, we want you back, this and the third, but you got to delete the video that you posted about the league, or whatever." So I guess because I'm thinking the video might would have damaged the league or whatever like that, and that's not my intention. Because I was telling people just don't come to the JBA. Like wherever you at, stay where you at, this and the third, because I feel like the JBA wasn't something guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the way how they handle with the contract situation and stuff like that, like we didn't really sign the contract on like the exact day when we got like the media day and stuff like that. We signed it like when people got on payday. And and I'm 20 years old at the time, but these guys in the league was like 18, 17, like young. So they just over here just see the money quick, and then all right, boom, that's what they're gonna do. And I can't blame them because they're in the same situation I'm in. They're coming from different hoods and they're trying to make it as well. So and I delete the video because I didn't want to like stop nobody from accomplishing what they had going, because I don't know everybody's situation that's in the, you know what I'm saying? It was 86 players. That's a lot of people. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna delete the video. People keep going, do what they do, whatever. I'll take my loss. I'll do it. I'll fight back, whatever. And the league still didn't like pan out how I thought it. I kept watching from afar, but it didn't last. Like after that one season, and then how LaMelo ended up winning the JBA championship with his brother Jello, it made the league look funny. It wasn't like a competitive league that I thought it was gonna be. And then I started seeing more players started leaving the league, more players started to change, and it wasn't as competitive as it was in the training, because the training camp, we was competitive. Like I remember when we scrimmaged LaMelo's team, we beat LaMelo's team 28-8. Like in the scrimmage, like it was like, and I think after LeVar saw that, I think that would made him like start to break down the league a certain way, because he was focused on his success of LaMelo. And in my opinion, I think LaMelo was going to be successful regardless who he was going against. And now it's like regardless, he still ended up in the NBA. So regardless of who he played against, his name and his talent was going to still take him where he needed to go.
Yeah.
So with LeVar, I feel like the Ball family could have done a better job. That league, I feel like the JBA could have still been going on right now.
Yeah. It could have been like the G. I mean, like what you said, mentioned the G League's doing it right now. They're paying players. They come like top elite, like talented players coming in, and the JBA could have really filled that void before the G League, before they even got into that. So that's interesting. I mean, like, did you talk to any other players like after anything? Like, did any players have the same experience? Like, how did you connect with anyone like after like you had left and anything like that?
I kept in touch with certain players and stuff like that, but they didn't really like after, like some of them didn't play. After the JB, some of them just stopped playing ball altogether. Some of them just ended up going on a different path, And I really we didn't really after it was just really mentally draining because like at point it was disturbing me. Like it was really like it like I said, I got into a depressed state where I didn't feel like playing basketball ever again. I didn't feel like playing basketball ever again after experiencing that. So I had to like take time to myself and reflect on why am I doing what I'm doing? Like who am I doing this for? Like is there am I really going to make it? Like, you know, all those questions start to pop in your head after that. So after that, I had to like, so then I end up, you know, then trying going back to school now. The only reason I ended up going back to school because after the JBA, LaMelo ended up going back to Spire High School. He went to Spire. Yeah. So but in my head, I'm like, bro, like you were just playing in a professional league. Like how you end up in Spire? So, but you know, I seen that. I said, okay, I'm gonna try to go back to school. And when I tried to go back to school, it was kind of hard because everybody said, oh, you using JV. So my face is already known that. Like, I'm like, wow, okay. And then one school and one coach gave me a chance. And I was ASA College. My head coach was Brett Wilson. And Coach Brett, I'm glad that you survived your battling. Like he's battling cancer right now. So like he's really like he's coming back stronger, whatever. But he ended up retiring because of his cancer situation. But he's the only coach that gave me a chance. And like he knew about my story, but at the same time, it's like when I told him I ain't taking any money, like he was like, okay, I'm gonna give you a chance. Cause then he was like, okay, he seen the potential I had. So he really like he dug deep. Like he knew how to push my buttons. Like he knew how to push my buttons and he knew and I used to practice, like he used to have us get up for practice from 7 in the morning to 11, 7 to 11 every morning. Wow. And like talking about conditioning, shooting drills, rebounding, running plays, how to think on the court, how to be disciplined. Like, because basketball is a lot of discipline. A lot of players didn't have that. Yeah. And like for me, like, and he used me as an example, like to say, Quan, you got to be the leader. You got to set the tone. You got to set the bar for your teammates to reach. And even if like sometimes my teammates wasn't on the same page with me, like I had to set the bar off the court as well. Cause like, I think he set a good example for me by like helping me mature as a man and help me mature as a basketball player. Because like I said, being a basketball player is not about how much you score. It's not about how your stats look. It's about how you impact the players around you and how can you help them become a better version of themselves. Not just stat chasing and stuff like that. Because if you are a teammate to somebody and you just playing with them, but you're not really showing the actual care that, yo, you my teammate, you my brother, if anything, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how people are supposed to be on a team. Because when you have that glue and everybody sticks together, no one's not stopping you. No one's not stopping that unit.
That's awesome. I think that's amazing. Great. And shout out to your coach. Hope he's okay and back recovering from cancer, all right, and everything like that. And that's just amazing that, he took a shot on you. Are you still with the ASA? Are you still with the ASA or are you still playing there?
The COVID, everything got stopped. And I was on a race for, I was getting an award because I won the top 3 players in my league. And, everything was working out for me in the good way. Everything was working out for me. But, COVID stopped everything. So after COVID, then I'm in here and I've just been, recovering and working out and trying to stay in shape, waiting for my time to come, And so after ASA, just been here ever since.
Yeah. Now, are you you're still eligible to play another year because of COVID, right?
I mean, yeah, I am, but I end up not going back to school. I end up because my coach end up coming out, I end up losing my spot.
Yeah.
I had to do a whole recruitment process and they didn't want to take me again. I'm like, all right. So now it's I said I might as well try to go for pro or try to go for the G League or something. I just want to play ball in the NBA. Honestly, I feel like when I went back to school, I stood out so much that I used to drop 30. I had 30 and 15 one game. It was not a lot of effort put into it. I feel like I could provide a good spark off the bench off an NBA team for a good 15 points. I feel like I could provide that type of spark. That's so. Awesome. And that's why I feel like my talent and the way how I work, and if I had the right training behind me, that I could be one of the all-time greats. Like, I'm not trying to sound cocky. Like, I feel like that's where like my mindset is, and I feel like that's where like I could reach. I feel like I could reach that type of height.
I mean, it's great. I think it's a great mindset that you have, and believe in yourself, and I think that's the most important thing. And now you just got to get like someone that can train with you, and I think that's the next step for what you need to do. So like, what are you looking to do like after COVID? Like, is there like a trainer that you're looking for, or like have you been in contact with anyone? Or are you going to try to go to, play
I
the?
don't listening.
Oh no, playing the G League. Sorry, I thought you were saying something and I couldn't hear it. Or like, so like, what's like next? There's a tryouts for G League because I know they have like the Long Island
Nets,
Nets,
yeah.
yeah, are out there too as well too. And I know like I had a friend of mine that ended up trying out and making it for them. Like, is that like what's next for you, or what are you?
That's been the idea, and then I've been asking my friends. I'm saying, yo, you think I should make try for the G League? And they say, yo, bro, you could do it, bro. You'll make it no problem. And so I was like, wow, like and when I heard that, I'm like, wow, okay. Then people really like have that much confidence in me. And I started to believe it myself. And the way how my game has been improving, like I look back on certain things I be doing on my highlights and all that. I be like, wow, like bro, I really came a long way. Because I remember when starting out when I couldn't even really hit a layup, or I couldn't do nothing like that, and end up doing a lot of pro moves, and I remember I go to the post. The post is a gym that's it's called the Post BK. You can look it up on Instagram. That's where I do my training at, and some people go there. I remember Isaiah Whitehead went there to go do some training there. Lance Stevenson popped out over there. Shout out to my boy Lance. Who else? Shamori Pons. That's one of my dudes. He was one of the top players in 2016 in New York. So those guys, like I go out and I always train. Like I never stop training. And Brooklyn Bridge Park, that's where I might be at sometimes too. That's where the community mostly know me. So when I go out to the park, people be like, "Yo, what's good, Quan?" They call me JBA. Like it's like, bro, come on now. Like everybody's like, they see my face, I remind them of the JBA. They always give me respect on that and things like that. And also, my main goal, like to make it, is like to really open that pathway for the guys that's underdogs, like people that's not getting the recognition or just putting the work behind the scenes, like to let them know that, okay, yo, you can make it too. Like I went through this underground road and I really had that much exposure behind me. But at the same time, when you patience and you trust God and you have faith in your dreams, no matter what people say about your dreams, like people always think that because it's a dream and you don't, like, people are gonna shut it down. Like once you have faith, right here, once you have faith, it's possible. Anything is possible. And I seen it, like the JBA was like a little taste for me. I think it was like a little taste of what God has planned for me, and maybe it is being an NBA, maybe. And I could see myself being an NBA and really impacting the world, like in a positive way, on and off the court. Because I feel like, and I also like, if I can end up playing for the Nets, that with the things I could do in my community, that like, even though like we got KD, Harden, Kyrie, they're not from here, so they don't really understand like what goes on in Brooklyn to make Brooklyn what it is. They might see like the glamour, the lights, the fame, the pot smoke and all that other stuff, but they don't really see where we come from, like how tough it really is to make it out of here. So I feel like that's really the main goal for me. Like regardless, like I do the G League and everything like that. I just want an opportunity. Like all I need is one opportunity, and that's all I ask for.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have a good heart too behind it as well. It's just it doesn't seem like it's just a money grab either. It's like what you want to do. You want to help out the community and be an inspiration to kids who gone a different path or who have not not had taken the college level, but they're going a different path and whatever. Right. I think that's a good way to do it. I mean, have you ever thought about the Euro route and then coming into the NBA too?
See, these are things I always thought about, but it's just me meeting the right people, me getting the right people behind me, and just making the right networking connections and stuff like that. So like me just having to talk with you on your podcast is like, it's a step. You know what I'm saying? I've been a while since I got interviewed and talked about the JBA. I ain't talked about the JBA in the last like 2 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like I've kind of went under the radar, but now I'm surfacing back up. So everything works out in mysterious ways. So I'm happy. I'm just happy for that.
Yeah, everyone has a plan. I mean, that's a plan for everyone, and you stick with it, and I'm sure he's going to put you on the right track. And I love that you're passionate, and I think that it really shows even through this interview, and it shows that you really want to play basketball. And it doesn't just sound like it's just for the money either. It sounds like you're passionate about basketball, but you also want to help out your community. Sounds like you're in a tough neighborhood and tough area, and you want to do something good back for those kids in that neighborhood. It sounds like, and you want to make an impact on them. And I think that is what makes you a great person and what makes you the person you are, and what the good heart and stuff like that. So you gotta, I believe in you, and I hope great things that come your way, because I think you deserve every great thing in the world, because you just seem like you have a great heart, and community needs you, like it needs a man like you, like that. So
I really appreciate that. I felt that. I felt that.
yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, you can tell by the way you talk and know everything, and it's awesome. And yeah, and I hope it all works out for you and everything like that. I mean, is there like a player, like anything planned, like players or anyone that you've talked to? I mean, you said you met some NBA players. Have you talked to them and like been in touch with them? Like, how's that been? Like meeting like Lance Stevenson, I think you said was one of them.
Yeah, I talked to. I ended up meeting Lance Stevenson. I ended up meeting Lance Stevenson in a tournament. It's called LES. Is Lower East Side Express. So we played down there, and I met him in Manhattan. I saw him there, and I saw him sitting there. I was like, no, I saw Lance and I saw Isaiah Whitehead in the same day. But I saw Lance first, and this one he's on the Lakers. So
Oh,
yeah. So when he's on the Lakers, like he's like now he's getting his recognition. Now he's doing what he's doing. But he comes from Coney Island. Coney Island, Coney Island is like over there. That's tough too. Coney Island's a tough place to come from too. But I met him, and he don't have security around him. Like he was just out there like a regular dude. And I went up and talked to him, whatever. And I met his brother first. His brother Sean Dollar. I met him on the PlayStation while I was playing 2K. So
nice. That's awesome.
we ended up linking up in the same rec game, and I ended up like me scoring, and me and him was in the backcourt playing, and he had like 40, I had like 25 and 15, and we was just killing. We was having a fun time. But we ended up meeting Lance, and then I talked to Lance. I said, "Yo, I know your brother." So your brother? You talking about brother Sean? I said, "Yeah." So you remember on 2K and all that. And we ended up taking a picture, and then after that, Lance went to China. So I ended up seeing him playing the tournament, in the street ball tournament, and he loves street ball. Like he loves street ball, bro. So he playing, and then he had a good time. He had a good game too. And I mean Isaiah Thomas. I met Isaiah Thomas by accident. Me and my brother went to Manhattan because I ended up getting a gift card from my church from Nike, a Nike gift card. And we was walking around, and then we went to the NBA store. And I'm seeing this guy, like he's so short, but I'm not really paying attention to it. But then so I said, yo, that guy look like Isaiah Thomas. And then somebody in the store said, yo, bro, I said the same thing, man. Like, I don't know. I said, go talk to him. So I went up to him, I said, Isaiah. And I didn't want to say his last name, but I said Isaiah. And he looked at me. He was like, nah, because he looked up at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I said, yo, I can get a picture with you, bro. How you doing? This and third. Like that. So, yeah, let's do it. This and third. So we took a picture. And then he chopped it up. We talked about it. I talked about how I'm being in the NBA. And then one time there was somebody that cursed them during the game because somebody wanted a Frosty. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
I met him and I talked to him about that. I said, they said that's how it be in the NBA, this and the third. I said, bro, I said, IT, I appreciate you. And the thing is, me and IT have in common, we're both lefties. So like being a lefty is kind of rare to see in this world. So it's like when I had to give him respect on him just being left-handed, And who else? I met Lance, Isaiah Thomas. I met Victor Oladipo. Even one time he was at Brooklyn Bridge Park, and he was doing a commercial, I think, for Express. And he was in his clothes, and then he was taking his shots, whatever, like that. And I was like around the same height as him at the time. I think this was when I was, 20. Yeah, I was 20, 21 around that time during the summertime. Met Victor Oladipo, and it was fun. Like that's what happened after the Jimmy. Like I ended up like just meeting this person and that person, and it's just been like that ever since. And I'm close friends with Jesse Jones, aka Filet. That's my guy right there. My son Filet, that's my guy. I got a day too, Filet. And yeah, like God has been good to me. Like people know who I am, but I just don't have that much exposure or that fame. So, but people are gonna give me credit for the things I've done.
Yeah, well, it's gonna come, man. It's gonna be there for sure. You just keep working hard. You, like I said, you're very passionate. It's cool to meet all those players. I'm kind of jealous. Also, I'm a lefty too, so
Yeah.
yes, we got. Well, it's a lefty. Yeah, so lefties being a lefty is the best, especially when you play basketball. It throws people off for the first time. It's the best. My favorite thing to do. But yeah, man, that's all the questions I really have. Do you have any comments, statements, or anything you want to say before we sign off? I mean, just keep doing what you're doing as well. That's my statement as well to you. But
So for everybody that's chasing their dreams, don't stop chasing your dreams. Like, don't stop chasing your dreams. Like, go after them. Try and put God first. Put God first, because God is real. God is gonna guide you through a situation that no matter what you're going through, whether it be a good or a bad situation, always pray your prayers. Always keep your head up. Don't let nobody shut down your dreams, no matter what it is. Because at the end of the day, the vision that's in your mind, only you gonna see it. No one else not gonna see your vision. No one else is gonna see what you have love for. And always take care of your family. Always just be you. Be you. Once you be you, everything will come to you. Don't try to be someone that you're not. And like, just don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged about life. Like, take life one day at a time and live every moment and laugh every day and watch how happy you'll be you'll be really happy. So that's all I gotta say.
I love it, Quan. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. You're a true inspiration, and keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see your name be called for the Brooklyn Nets one day, or just the NBA general.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you, Jeff.
And anytime, man.